This week in car audio. Tune in. We'll be talking about bass, talking about chips, talking about rings. You ain't got them, zip your lip. You got a problem you haven't found, check your grounds. The show about to start. Tune in. This week in car audio. Yeah. Tune in. This week in car audio.
Welcome to This Week in Car Audio with your host, Doug Stockton, your co-host, Jeffrey Fernandez, hold on. I think I got Jeffrey back. Let me switch out here, main. Jeffrey got kicked out. He's got to connect his audio. Hey, I can hear you, Jeff.
Hey, I was trying to get my, AirPods to work, but they couldn't work.
Trying to get your AirPods. Yeah, I didn't see them on your head, so I wasn't sure what was going on there.
Yeah, I was trying to figure them out. I don't know. It's like the technology these days, you know?
Yep.
It's easier, but it's all harder. Sorry about that.
No problem. All right, our guest this week is Bobby Riley. It was him and his brother, Alan. They competed together for multiple years. 10-plus time world champion, world record holder. How many times did we come up with for your world records, Bobby?
28.
28 world record holder. That's between USAC, DB Drag, what other organizations?
IASCA, IDBL.
Okay. So
I don't think we said any in golly, man, there's so many. It's 20 years ago, and you're expecting me to,
Dude, you should know.
I'm on the downhill side. I've already hit, middle age, and I'm on the way down. So,
all right, I was out
there.
Tough
to remember.
I was out there sharing with everybody. We got a couple of comments coming in now on the Facebook side. Let me make sure I got my volume off before I turn on this thing here. There we go. We got Travis Hostetter joining us, Chris Jenner, Greg Cleary, got them. I got Woody McDonald over on the what's that other side there? YouTube, on the YouTube side. All right, guys. Hey, welcome today. We're going to talk about. Oh wait, you're not Christopher Munson. I changed the name. I just forgot to do it. Here, let me change your name real quick because you ain't Christopher Munson.
While you're there, Doug, can you change my name too? You kind of misspelled that.
I did?
It's Jeffrey.
Hold on, say that again.
You have it down as Jefffery, but it's Jeffrey.
Oh, I misspelled the R. Got you.
Yeah.
I can fix that. That's a super easy fix. R-E-Y. Oh, I do. I see that. Man, I hate spelling people's names wrong because there's zero reason we should ever do that, right? So there we go. I got Bobby in there. I got the judge. I got Jeffrey Fernandez. All right, we got everything going. All right. Good afternoon, Bobby. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate this. Let's start off real simple. When did you start in car audio? What got you involved in it?
Well, actually, we have a family business that started in 1945, and in the early 70s, they started selling car audio. I was born in 71, so you guys can do the math how old I am.
Dirt.
Dirt. Me and President Lincoln hung out. So we did car audio way back in the day, and I did my first professional install when I was 12.
Mm-hmm.
Got dropped off at the house of family friend and put in a deck and an EQ booster and a pair of 3.5s and a pair of 6x9s in the back. And
realistic.
That's how I got started. We sold Majestic.
Oh, okay.
EQ boosters. We sold Pioneer and Kenwood. We started selling Kenwood when they first started doing car audio. But anyway, so I had good friends that I had a good friend, electrician, Chris Long, who probably knew more about car audio than I did.
So he
And
competed back in the days too.
way back. So
Yeah.
he competed in, I think the first trophy he got was in '85. And then I graduated high school in '89 and decided to grow that part of our business in the car audio, and took on a couple bigger brands like Rockford. And we went to I guess the sound quality stuff for a while. Went to T.W.I.C.A, sound quality, and it's very subjective. And then so in the late '90s, when Wayne kind of got DB drag going and everybody started talking about making it loud, I thought, well, that'd be fun to do because the mic's not going to lie. Now we find out later in life that the mics aren't necessarily the greatest thing. And thank goodness Wayne is still using his genius brain to make sure we can measure things. So anyway, that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, I will say the system he has now is accurate to itself very well. I mean, the TermLab system, I don't know if you're still involved with any of that, but that TermLab system right now is super accurate amongst its, to itself.
We had serial number 1 when he came out with the sensor.
Oh, do you?
He actually, he overnighted it to us because we had the most violent vehicle at the time. And we beat the crap out of it and used that to our advantage, figuring out that how that sensor read and things like that. So
okay. Somebody just here real quick hitting the chat. Chris Pate wants to know when the rules are going to be finalized. I believe they're essentially finalized. We got a little bit of cleanup to do on the rules for this year. But for all you guys, next week, Monday, we will have Wayne Harris on here talking about car audio and DB drag and what we got going on. So
mark it on your calendars, guys. Wayne Harris. You guys have any questions, hit him up. He'll be right there.
Yep. So
Godfather of SPL.
That's right. So we're definitely going to have Wayne Harris on here. Another question I see here real quick, SQ Sounds, they're out of Bridgetown, Barbados. That's Tristan, I believe, on that side, because Tiffany goes on the YouTube or Facebook side. And they ask, have you ever had any experience with the Pile EQ boosters?
No, we didn't do that brand. No.
Okay.
Majestic was it back in the '80s. Come on now.
Well, Pile was back then because I had some Pyramid Phase 3s, and Pile was actually it was the high-end flea market brand,
Yeah, Pile drivers.
That's right, Pile drivers.
Pile drivers.
Oh, there you go.
So, anyway, so with all that being said, multi-time world champion, what classes were you champion in, and walk us through some of those real quick.
So I guess we kind of started. We had a good customer and a good friend I went to college with, who had a Geo Tracker, and I don't know if maybe some people remember the Geo Tracker.
It's a Samurai by Chevy.
Yeah. So we crammed 10. We crammed 16 10s in it, in a ported box that probably shouldn't have been ported, and tiny, and crammed a bunch of batteries in and a bunch of Rockford amps, and he did all right. That thing jammed. We drove it around. So that was kind of our first taste. He set a world record on the B&K USAC in 98 or 99. There's a poster on the other side. We were in Wayne's DB drag flyer for that show when it was in Louisville, I think, that year. I didn't go. Just had had a 1-year-old at home, so wasn't really let out of the house that year. So anyway, that started it, and then we decided, okay, we're going to do it big time, and we bought a 1963 step van. And some of the people who went to local shows like in Springfield and St. Louis, Kansas City, we hauled that thing around, and we bought it because it was cool looking. but not necessarily made for SPL. Just in front of the B pillars is just too big, and almost as much in front of the B pillars as behind. So anyway, my dad had a 1987 Ford Econoline van that was kind of his work van, and it really wasn't doing much. And so we're like, let's try that. We took all the seats out of the back and put a pair of 18s in and went to a couple shows, and that kind of got us started in doing it big time. And we ended up going to USAC finals in 2000 and in Port Wars, and we won 3 classes of Port Wars, where it's not necessarily the vehicle, but we had stuff in there. And anybody remembers Port Wars, you put the mic in the port and whatever. It was, I'm embarrassed to tell you how we won that, but anyway, it looked like a banjo, the box did. So anyway, so come full circle, we do well. Rockford decides to take a chance on us and support us, and we had a good run. DB Drag, USAC, IASCA, won all 3 in 2002. We were a Rockford Competitor of the Year. Next year we went to in 03, we won all 3, and then we also did Mecca, and I think we got 2nd place in Mecca. Scotty Johnson just he just whooped us in Mecca. So
we got him coming on the show towards the end of February, because he's got some brand new stuff coming out in March, and he wanted to make the announcement on the show. So he's coming on later on. So, but we're waiting for everything to settle down, and then he'll come on. So Scotty Johnson,
what a good guy.
Yeah,
right.
we had Scott. We had Scott Owens on.
Great guy, also.
Like 2 months ago, dude. Awesome dude. He showed us. We asked him. So for me, Scott Owens was the first guy I met that was meticulous, is a good way to put it. And so he still has the stacks of books for his Pioneer, and he brought him out and he showed us, and he goes, every one of these pages has all this information in it. And
I still have ours. So we weren't as crazy as Scott.
Dude,
he did it for a living. We still did it as a hobby.
Yeah, he was doing humidity, temperature on the front of the woofer, on the back of the woofer, in the box, outside, in the cab of he had all that information for everything to do with that vehicle.
He had me talked into buying accelerometers to put all around the vehicle to find what resonance was everything, and how, and what a great dude. Boy, there's a lot of good people in this sport. I've got a lot of lifelong friends that we maybe don't catch up with like we should. There's a bunch of us talked about doing a reunion somewhere. We almost had it planned, and then the Rona hit and screwed everything up. I don't know if you guys have heard about that, but there's some little virus going around that it's kind of bad. So anyway, it would be fun to get everybody together and have, you talked about reminiscing earlier. What a fun time we had 20 years ago, going to Nashville and Louisville, and then going to all the shows to get points and seeing everybody. We tried to be points champion one year. I think we got 5th in points one year, and just going everywhere and seeing people and driving all over and spending lots of gas money, and man, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Jeffrey, were you ever at the Nashville? Competing in Nashville? So yeah, Bob, tell us about Nashville. So Nashville was my first finals, 2005. Nashville was an awesome place to have World Finals. So
the convention center, the nice thing was, so you think
4th
about
Street, right? Right down.
Yeah, you're downtown. No, that was 05. Was that?
Yeah. That was Nashville at the convention center,
Nashville.
and then
and
then we go right outside the
year.
Oh, you go right outside the hotel, and that was 4th Street, where you get thrown back is a good way to put. People had a hard time making it back to their rooms.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. What a great time. Everybody stayed at the hotels attached to the convention center. You unload your car right there on on the street where all those famous honky tonks are, and driving vehicles that shouldn't be driven around town on the streets, and yeah, Nashville was fun. It absolutely was fun. And you know, I guess I go back to the people, man. The people you meet and hang out with, and well, our crew here. I mean, it was Alan and I here, and we had a couple employees, Jason Bauman and Mike Lucas, that helped us a bunch and went to shows with us. But we had people would come and help, and I'm going to start naming names, but I'm going to miss somebody. You know, we had Chili, Aaron Roberts,
okay,
you know, world champion, you know, with the microbus. We still talk a lot. He's down South Missouri. He and his crew would come up, Bubba, and we'd have work weekends, and we'd go down there and help them, and we'd have guys from all over. Doug Lundy is a good friend, was a good help. I guess that's what I wanted to say. Just so many people, and people in like our little town, and that's what it seemed to be. Is it's a little town thing. Not many people at the world-class level back then were from big cities. And I think it's our kind of, we don't have much to do as young adults. And so we got into car audio, and, you know, some towns have racing. We have a dirt track here, but I don't care about that. Let's make things loud.
Yep.
So
Jeffrey, you were at Louisville. You said you went to Louisville also, Bob? 2007, I believe.
So I'm getting everything mixed up. I went to Louisville, but it was for IASCA.
Oh, okay. So
we did IDBL that year.
Okay, so 1 year, Jeffrey, you were at Louisville competing, weren't you?
I'm kind of the same way. I think I'm mashing up these World Finals locations.
Okay. But I think you were with us when Muhammad Ali came in. Were you with us at that one or no? Yeah. So I'll tell the story. So I'll tell the story. So I'm there. Man, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Walrus, Doc Walrus or something like that. Okay. He was a competitor, DB Drag. But anyway, so we're sitting in Nashville. I'm sitting down there with the twins, right? The Team Rip Rock, the twins from Canada. And we're sitting down there. It's like 2 a.m, and we're in Louisville. And what happens is Muhammad Ali, just to get away from people, he stayed at that hotel on the weekends sometimes. But he waits till like 2 a.m. when nobody's there to come in. And well, we were out there, dude. It was so awesome. I've been, I live down in L.A. I hang out with this guy Jeffrey over here, right here. He's a movie star. I see movie stars here and there throughout, my travels and whatnot, and meet these people. Never been starstruck my whole life. Muhammad Ali, dude, I was like a little schoolgirl. Dude, because I'm like, dude, it's the greatest. It's the great one. And man, he walks right up, and he came right over. I bet you we held him up for probably 35 minutes. He was taking pictures with all the guys down there. Guys let him look like fake he was punching them, and all these pictures. Dude, it was awesomest time. And without DB Dragon World Finals, I would have never had that opportunity to be in the presence of Muhammad Ali. And he took 2 a.m. He stood down in the lobby and talked to a whole bunch of us DB Draggers. I mean, who are we to stop Muhammad Ali from going up to his room to go to bed, right? I mean, those are the stories that you get at World Finals, right?
So we're talking about different finals and events and such. Bobby, can you tell us of a memorable event for you?
Man, there's lots.
Okay.
Is this a PG show, or is this?
It's whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
We're on YouTube, so
you'll have to have Alan come back, and I'll give the PG version. Just so many things. How about I think of the crazy things that happened, like
was there something specific that made it memorable, or?
There's so many little things. It's the time in the atrium bar, everybody hanging out and sneaking people into other bars and figuring out ways. And this is, you'll have to ask Alan his special way to, you go to those big clubs like the Wild Horse Saloon, and there's a block long line, and he's got a way we just walk up and walk right in. Alan has that way, so you'll have to get him on and ask him how to do that. So, but as far as the events, I guess in 04, I think 04, I'm pretty sure it's 04. But again, I'm old and gray, and my mind's going. So we'll say 04, and don't correct me. So we went through the bracket and a DB drag in Nashville. We're up against Scotty Johnson. We'd always talk to Scotty about we're going to not do the 915s. We were going to put in a wall of 10s, because I just knew I could put more power on a bunch of 10s than I could with the 915s, because we were, back then it was just the 36 amplifiers that we could use. And so Scotty shows up to finals exactly what we had talked about doing. And, I high-fived him, hugged him, and I said, let's go. And so I'm pretty sure we tied with our qualifying. He obviously was a little bit louder because he was 1 in the bracket and we were 2. So Scotty, we get to the end and we tie, go through the bracket. It's the finals and we tie. And we were pretty consistent. I can brag about that now because it's 20 years later. Our stuff held up. It never broke. Even when I did a full tilt burp going into the lanes one year because I wanted to check and make sure things were working, I didn't realize I had the volume all the way up. That's kind of stupid stuff like that, where your heart goes and you've worked all year for this, and but tying and then having Tor come over and say, and those of you that know Tor know Tor.
DQ. Oh.
yeah, DQ. So this is like, I'm reaching the ceiling, he's 18 feet tall.
Yeah, he's like double Jeffrey.
Yeah, hey.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, and so our whole team, we're like checking things, we're good. And Tor says, you got 2 minutes. And so we run over to Scotty's van because he blew up a ton of stuff.
Wow.
And we're trying to help him. We're all buddies. Let's have fun. I want to win. Don't get me wrong. I'm a competitor. If I'm into something, I want to be the winner of it.
The winner.
And it doesn't matter what it is. And so we're over trying to help him. And Tor says, you can't help him. I'm like, I don't think that's anywhere in the rule book. We kind of push the rules anyway. If it's a gray area or not in there, then I can do what I want. So anyway, we tried to help him, and anyway, we ended up winning because we did the same exact score again because we're pretty consistent. And that was kind of I think that was it. We were done. That year, Rockford had stopped their sponsorships. And so Alan and I were maxing credit cards out and going all over the world, still doing it. And, but I'd say the one memory of cool that I can say was that, going out on top and competing against the best in Super Street. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. You were original Team RF OGs, huh?
That's right. Yeah.
Rockford. So that was basically your sponsor then at the time, was Rockford Fosgate, right?
Yeah. So we started without a sponsor, and so I would just buy product as an employee, like most of us did.
Yeah.
And we had a great regional sales manager at Rockford that was from the Kansas City area, and we we're like, hey, we're doing this at a world-class level. You're sponsoring other guys that have nothing to brag about. Why don't we do this? And so when we when we became a world champion in Port Wars and USAC, which again I kind of snicker at because it's kind of, I mean, it wasn't a vehicle. It was this.
Right?
It was two 10-inch woofers mounted facing each other in a, I think it was 3/4 inch pipe that was 6 foot long.
Yep.
But man, it
Peg
made
the
that
meter. That's all that
crappy
matters.
mic peg the meter. So anyway, but anyway, so you know, they hired Mark Fukuda to lead the team and lead the charge, and there was us, and so it was Shaker, and yeah, and he was I think the only extreme guy, and then it was Tommy McKinney at 9+ Super Street. We were 5 to 8. We also had a van Josh Millen had with Matt Cole that we did. That was our no wall, and golly, Tim Phillips and
he's a Rockford.
boy, some of these guys are going to be pissed because I'm not thinking of them. But anyway, what a great team Rockford had. They sent out these high-def cameras when high-def cameras weren't a thing, and we videoed our builds and did all this, and they lost all that footage.
Oh,
today.
they did?
It was right before all this reality TV became a thing, and man, there was so much fun footage in that. Alan has some of that he kind of saved, but golly, there was so much camaraderie in this room. Where we do installs that just
real quickly, what kind of tips would you give, say, up and coming competitors, you know, that, you know, want to start competing, maybe, you know, they want to look for sponsors? What kind of tips can you give to those guys?
Be loyal.
Loyal.
And be loyal. And then be loyal. Don't burn bridges and be loyal. So I hope I made a point there. You know, there's a lot of brands out there that just want stuff. Find those guys that are sponsoring trophies, and find those companies that are there to help. And you know, that's what Rockford was. I mean, I started selling Rockford when I got out of high school because it was it. You know, they were the fun, do whatever. But I'd also say, and we kind of joked about it earlier, the notebook that Scott has, I still have our notebooks. Everything you do, write it down. Try everything.
So you don't even need to do that anymore. The new term lab has what's it called? Winner's Choice or Winner's Edge. Winner's Edge. So it actually records all that information for you with every burp. So the new term lab actually has that notebook built into it.
You can type notes in.
You can type notes into it and everything. Man, how handy would that have been?
I don't know. I probably wouldn't trust it. I'd figure somebody would hack it and get our notes. And they got to be able to read my writing.
On your
Alan's
notes.
writing.
That's right.
And so there's some stuff there that people look and go, what?
A little Da Vinci Code type stuff, huh?
Yeah. But you know, pick a group, a sanctioning body that fits you, and go for it, and just have fun with it. And you got to try everything. I mean, I don't care. You can watch every YouTube video and every whatever you can, but it ain't the same. And you got to try it in your car. You have to. Yep. Every car's different. Everything's different. And try stupid stuff. I was on the drive back from the house to here. I was thinking about all the dumb stuff we did. And I say dumb. It wasn't dumb at the time. Like we talked about dimpling the inside of the box so it resembled a golf ball.
A golf ball, right? I think I've seen that. I've seen that done.
We didn't do it. We talked about it. The one thing we did do is we took, so the port obviously was huge in the van, and you could walk through it, but we thought, would there be more control if there was a bunch of smaller ports? Would it be more controlled if it was a bunch of 3-inch ports? So what did we do? The port was 6 inches long, so we cut 6-inch pieces of PVC pipe and we jammed them in the port and tried to hold them in. Lost 2 dB and we lost a day of work. But you know what? We never known if we didn't try it.
Exactly. You got to try things. You got to try things.
You know, I think we were the first to put bevel around where the woofers are to bring the baffle, the box out even with the cone.
Mm-hmm.
That was a few tenths.
Recessed mounting.
Right.
Uh-huh.
You know, just dumb things. You're like, well, let's just fill this area and see what happens. And boom, there it shows on the meter.
Yep.
There we go.
So what do you think is the dumbest thing you've ever done that just made no sense, but it added dBs to your car?
Oh my gosh, it was whatever we listened to Alan about. I don't know. He's bowling, so I can say anything I want. That's
right, because he's not here to refute it.
I'm your second choice. He's not here, so I can say whatever I want. Because all he did was push. He was the button pusher. That's all he did. He pushed the button on the podium and played the noise. And I did everything else.
Yeah, he was the button brother.
That's crap. That's crap. I'm just the one that didn't party all night, so I made sure everything was good the next day.
All right. So let's talk about those signs behind you. I see USAC. I see registration for DB drag. I see excess noise, noisy. Let's see here. I see Governor Riley. So you want to tell us about yeah. So you want to tell us about some of your signs?
I think the first one. Let's see what's back here. So I think it was the USAC one when the finals were at Bartle Hall in Kansas City. Of course, that's local. That's 2 hours from us, and to get in, the spectators would get in a different way than we would as competitors, which is another funny thing, driving 15,000 pound vans on I-35 to get into the back door of this convention center. You were literally on the exit to get into the back door of the convention center, which is kind of funny. Anyway, so we're like, I like that sign. And when I said, I like that sign, our entourage took that as I need a gift. And so I think that was the first thing, because that was what showed the spectators how to get in. And so it's the last day and everybody's cleaning up and I see this sign in our van and it just happens to fit inside in the box of the van and you can't see it in there. So I assume they purchased it.
Of course.
Or had it made specifically for me to look exactly like the one they were already using, which I think is what it is, because I mean, I don't see any ownership badges on it. So I'm certain it was made specifically for me as a gift.
There you go.
The Iasca one, they had these signs sitting around just talking about, for when spectators would come, this would talk about. So I think it says IDBL. Yeah. So it kind of explains what it's about. And of course we had wrestling here in Moberly.
Was it midget wrestling though?
No.
We did have some of that, and Ric Flair was here a couple times.
Oh, there you go.
And
I'm a wrestling fan.
Okay, so anyway, and then so those are just, I mean, that's our fun of this is our memories behind me.
Yep.
I've got a couple woofers, a couple amps, and the podium we played, and that's all I have from the millions and millions of dollars we spent. Okay, it wasn't that much, but my wife sure thought it was.
Yeah.
I bet she did.
So anyway, that's what we have left is, and of course those have been up there for 20 years now, almost.
Yep.
Golly, I'm old. You youngsters.
So with that being said, so did you get rings when you were doing DB drag and stuff like that, and USAC and stuff? Okay, so we're still doing rings.
Yeah, we got a ring from Padre, Spring Break Jam in Padre Island, Texas.
So let's talk about that.
Trip.
So back when you were competing, the big shows, right? They called them the big shows. You had Spring Break Nationals down Daytona Beach, right? SBN.
Yeah.
Then you also had Padre Island, which is down in Texas, right
Yep.
on the Gulf, right?
South Texas, yeah.
Yeah, South Texas. Those were the biggest, and then they had Steel City up in northern Michigan, I think. That might have been after you though. That
I'd say
was
it's
a
after me.
that was a Sam Horn show, and Sam put on a great show. Did all
I know
that
we went to
stuff.
one show that Sam put on in Columbus that was huge. Alan and Jeff Steffens took our van to that event.
Okay. So that's where I was gonna go next. Is okay. So you have all this money you put into this ride. Where is it now?
Man, I don't know.
Don't know what happened to the
So-
Riley van, huh?
So so again, we maxed our credit cards out, and we didn't, but it sure seemed
Yeah.
like we did. We had a lot of extra equipment. Let's just say that if we needed one, we told Rockford we needed 4, and they knew it, but we were, they could brag on us. So
Right.
anyway,
That's the name of the game.
that's exactly right. So sorry, you guys. They're going to be watching this, and they're going to be pissed, but no, they know.
So for me, I was building an extreme car at the same time Nathan Munson was. We were both trying to be the first car to do 170 with a single woofer, right? And so I was close, and obviously Nathan Munson beat me since he was the first one to do it. But
Another good dude.
yeah, oh, Nathan Munson's freaking awesome. We just had Chris Munson and his son on last week. Chris, in his own right, he has actually exceeded his dad's records and accomplishments in the car audio world. So I mean that's no small feat. I mean, Nathan's one of the smartest dudes I know, and he can, man, that guy can build a badass car. But so anyway, so I'm here and I'm competing, building this extreme car, and I'm going, man, dude, I'm like 30 large into this thing. And, in an extreme car, 30 grand, dude, I've got windows, I've got resin, I've got 2 amps and a single sub, and I'm 30 grand.
Yep.
I'm going, I don't think I can afford this. And then I became a judge. So
There you go.
that's
All things
how
happen for a reason.
yeah, that's how I became a judge. 2000, 2001 is when I started judging, and I'm still doing it today. Still do 20 plus events. As a matter of fact, Jeffrey here, same thing. He was world record holder for Super Street No Walls for a long time. Excuse me, little Rona there. And then he was, let's see, so he was a world record holder, a world champion in Super Street No Walls. I don't think he got the world championship in Super Street 1 to 2 though, right, Jeff?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
Yeah,
so he got it in 1 to 2. He got it in No Walls, and his next evolution was becoming a judge. So that's kind of an evolution. You guys, why don't you tell us about your store? One of the greatest things that I've ever heard anybody talk about, one thing they own. I can't remember if it was you or Alan told me back in the day that I said, hey, so what do you guys sell at your store? And you're like, I will sell you anything as long as it makes me a profit. We got everything from refrigerators to car audio.
Yeah. So my grandpa started the business when he got back from World War II, and he actually had a pool hall. And my grandma said, we're not going to raise a family in a pool hall. And so they started selling. He'd go to from our little town up here. He'd drive to St. Louis in the back of with a grain truck of his grandfather. And he would go to St. Louis and he'd write a bad check for a refrigerator. Now this is back in the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd take a little while for the check to get back and clear. You'd write a bad check for it, come back and sell the refrigerator before the check cleared. And anyway, so, that's good to tell the kids these days, but anyway. So he started that, and we have a 40,000 square foot building that we sell everything for the home, appliances, furniture. We used to do a lot of electronics. We were the place to go to for TVs and VCRs and things like that. And we started doing car audio in the early 70s. And so It just kind of all evolved. We still do a pretty good amount of car audio. We probably sell more for motorcycles and side by sides and things like that than we do actually going in cars. But we still sell a lot of car audio in a town of 13,000 people.
That's
And
tiny.
so, yeah, you got neighborhoods that big, right?
That's right.
I think Alan's office that he works in has 13,000 people in it. But
Wow.
anyway, so we do all that, and then we do installation and whatever it takes. I love sound, so I do a lot of sound system work in theaters and churches and schools and things like that, because I love music but never really had a talent, so I've got the ear for it. I judged. You guys talking about judging? I judged IASCA and USAC sound quality back in the day. A lot of ear training, and then I still use that today when I'm running sound for bands or doing other things. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. You asked. We'll circle back. You asked about the van. I'd like to know where it's at, so I want to let's kind of finish this.
Okay.
So we sold it to a gentleman who competed against us, and
Can we name them? Drop names?
Shocker Mike.
Okay. Yep. Mike Yankee.
Yeah.
He bought it, and I don't know if he wanted to compete or he just wanted us not to. And I'm being serious when I say that.
Absolutely.
I'm not poking at it. I'm just saying because it didn't compete.
Right.
Yeah.
And you take
you just buy it, right? So
what's that?
If you can't beat it, you buy it.
Right. And it gets back to me. We had 88 batteries in that van.
Yeah.
And so he said, no, half the batteries are bad, and I don't know. I didn't take them all out. It would charge. We won.
Right.
Why? So yeah, maybe we could have been 2 or 3 dB louder. Who knows?
It was under a different. Well, it was under a team name, right? Hey, Doug,
Sound Chamber. So yeah, so
to bring up the DB drag profile, see some of the pictures.
All right, I'll work on that.
Yeah, so it's Arts Sound Chamber 1. So we had 4 or 5 different vehicles. So Art was my grandpa. And so Arts Appliance and Furniture is the name of the store. Mm-hmm. But the car audio, home audio and car audio room, we called the Sound Chamber because it was built to keep the sound in, and it was labeled Sound Chamber. So we started competing. We compete under the name Arts Sound Chamber. And so that's just how it stuck. It was Alan and I doing it, but it was for the company. And so
so for those of you guys who want to see the vehicle, see some pictures, I think they still have it on the DB drag racing profile.
I'm looking at them right now. So we got Art Sound Chamber 1, 2, 3, 4, and Art Sound Chamber 13.
Geez,
13 was a joke.
Let's start with
but we still competed with it. Yeah.
Oh, that's a station wagon.
Yeah, that was a joke. We still competed.
Okay.
In the comments, I just put a link to a YouTube video that is a video that the local TV station did about us.
Oh, nice flame job. Looks like a Blazer.
No, that was the van.
That was the van?
Wait,
Blazer.
No. This ain't the
Doug Lundy's.
This is a Blazer.
Okay.
No.
Blazer was Doug Lundy's.
So here's the thing: is I think RP's van is your old van. I honestly think that.
Okay, who is it? Can I search that? Who that
RP
is?
Patel. So what name did he compete under? Soundcheck, right? Jeffrey, that was he competed under Soundcheck.
Yes, that's RP.
Yep. So I don't see a picture. I just see kicker for that. Let me look up RP because
no, that van, that Astro van with the lid on it was Chris Norris's.
Norris, that's right. It had Norris, and it's still got
Norris.
the picture.
Yeah, you got to pronounce it right.
That's
Norris.
right. That's right. And it's still got his picture on the side of it.
He's a Rockford guy too, yeah.
Yeah, and it still has his picture on the sound of it, on the side of it. That if you look on the van, it's ghosted his image because that's what he did that, right? So he put his own picture on his own damn van.
Yeah, that's Norris's. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you know what? Back in the day, we have our own trolls nowadays, but for you guys that don't know, back in the Turn Pro forum days, Norris was the troll. Him and Iggy's Ghost, right?
That's right.
Iggy's Ghost and Noras were the biggest trolls involved. Um, for me, one of the greatest things, like talking nostalgia wise and competing, competing in world finals and whatnot. I would say my greatest memories are definitely of the Twins, the Rock Team Rip Rock. I had such a great time. Those guys were so freaking smart. Um, they were there trying to get their first 180. They were going up against Craig Butler. Craig Butler's he's just a staple. Shoot, he was competing when you were, and he's still competing now, right? I mean, he's taken the last couple years off. I don't know if it's a COVID thing or what, but I do hear he's coming back to compete sometime soon. So, there was Team Trendsetters. Holy crap, were they stretching
Yep.
the rules, right?
Yep.
I mean, when we did the multiple amplifier thing, they're the ones that came up with the 9.0 for Zapco. Yeah,
Whoa.
they took a couple of. They actually called it the Trendsetter amp, and they just literally bolted them together, bolted a couple of 4.0s together, and that's the Trendsetter amp, right? Team Trendsetter amps.
And they're right here in Missouri. So,
are they?
Right.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Does
Yeah.
Was it Danny Britton? Wasn't he
Yep.
one of the Team Trendsetters?
Oliver, Missouri.
Yeah.
Down by Springfield near Chile and those guys. So,
Yeah. I mean, like I said, all that stuff was cool. The things, even this last year at World Finals, the competitors. I mean, you guys know as competitors, the World Finals. Yes, that's what you're there for. That's the whole goal. But when you're 20 years removed, 15 years removed, the event itself is minor compared to the people that you met at the event. Right? Would you say
Yeah.
that's accurate, Bobby?
Yeah, I mean, I was there to win.
Right.
You
No
know?
no doubts.
No question about that. I was there to win.
Mhm.
But I talk more about the people and the things that happened than the wins.
Mhm.
I can say I'm a 15-time world champ and 28 world records, but I think about the memories and the fun, and yeah, I've got some trophies up front sitting in the sound chamber,
Mhm.
but the friends are the fun part. Golly,
Memories, exactly. The memories you make.
relationships that
Relationships, yeah.
I know people all over the world now. I guarantee if I go to Germany, I call up Michael Mueller.
The
He's gonna
Okie.
He's going to pick me up at the airport.
Oh,
if
yeah.
I go, wherever, I know
Go
I've
to
got
France.
a friend.
Go see Box, right?
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely. Greece. I'm thinking the gentleman in Greece.
Guinness.
Yes. Tor.
Yep.
There's plenty of people everywhere that if yeah. Kind of gets choked up a little bit thinking about all the fun we had and the great relationships we have. Maybe we're not necessarily good friends, but man, there's relationships there, and we all have a common bond.
Mhm.
I'm a member of the Rotary International Club, and we have clubs all over the world, and I think I would be closer with my DB drag community than I would be with members of a social club.
No, absolutely. I'm sure Jeffrey remembers. I don't know, it was 2010 or so, and Alien was there. Alien Audio, I think it was.
Fusion, wasn't it?
Who?
Fusion?
Fusion, yes, Fusion
Yeah,
Audio.
Look.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
So after
Alien.
World Finals, there were so many pictures of people raping aliens, and
Oh, no.
it was.
There it is, right there.
Yeah,
There
dude,
it is.
dude, that was. I mean, those are some of the memories that
Mhm.
you couldn't have. The great thing is we had one World Finals. Everybody came literally from all over the world to compete. We had people from Norway. We had people from Greece, from Germany. I mean, Oki would fly in,
Yeah.
build a car at World Finals, and compete.
He stayed with us one year here at our house.
Yeah,
Same
he
here.
He was
yeah, he
traveling
stays with
around.
us. Yeah. He stayed
Yep.
with me like 4 years in a row and stuff. Yeah. And
Yeah.
Jeffrey stayed with Jeffrey because he likes to go down to Disneyland.
Yeah,
He stayed with me because I'm right next to Zabco, right? So he would go stay with me and then go to Zabco. So
We
yeah,
went to Vegas when he came down, but it was the same.
yeah. I will get him on. He's got some with the COVID and whatnot. He does have some family problems happening. You know, uh, he just can't focus on other things right now. So, but I still talk to Oki probably every 2 months. You know, and Oki, for you guys that don't know, he's the Scoby, right? The now there's a guy like this guy named Scoby, and it's called the Scoby face. So he gets in all these loud cars and he does his thing, right? That's the Scoby face. Well, that's what Oki did back in the day, right?
Yeah, he was crazy enough to get in our van.
Yeah, 170
Wow.
plus.
I think I
Vans.
remember that picture. It was like him, and he was doing the
Coffee
thumbs up.
cup, and thumbs up.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, Oki's a good
I
dude.
never would.
No way. Oki's an awesome dude. I will get him on here at some point. Hey guys, but we are running up on the hour. Dude, it was hella quick, I think. I had a great time talking to you guys. Bobby, Jeffrey, let's talk about your show real quick. What happened this weekend with you?
We had a show at Crossfire headquarters out in Grapevine, Texas. We had a bunch of new competitors coming out. We also had another organization that Andy came down and judged. So, you know, it's a 2-organization event.
USAC and DB Drag?
Yep, USAC and DB Drag.
Uh-huh.
We had a lot of people try out that freestyle class on the DB Drag side, because essentially it's similar to the Outlaw in
Outlaw USAC, yes.
So they went and tried it out, and they seemed to like it and enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
We had some big numbers. We also had some windshields bust, and got a couple of shots of that. Overall, it was just a fun time. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't too cold.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to have one once a month here, and if you don't make it this month, hey, come to the next month and check it out.
Okay.
So Alan's right there and there with you. You ought to have him come in and decide some autographs.
Yeah.
I mean, he's right there in Dallas, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a couple minutes away, right? Every place around there.
He's in Grapevine. That's not exactly in Dallas.
I know. I'm just kidding. Every time there's something going on in Dallas Metroplex or whatever you call it, I tell him he needs to. Well, sure, you can just go right over there.
Yeah, sure. All right. Hey, Bob, how do they get a hold of you or come see your shop or any of that stuff?
So website's artsappliance.com. Just if you want to see some craziness, just Google Alan and Bobby Riley, and there's a bunch of YouTube videos of some. You mentioned shattering windshield. We went through 13 windshields in the van, and then just go to the website artsappliance.com, and if you want to talk to me, you can click on the link there. info@artsappliance.com. Glad to help anybody who wants to have good system, but if somebody just wants to reach out and say, hey, I'm not very good about, if somebody wants to call me and say, how can I make something louder? I'm going to tell you to test everything you can. If you got an 1987 short Econoline van and want to dump a bunch of concrete in it and steel, I can probably tell you where to get started. But beyond that, don't reach out to me if you want to know how to be loud. Because I'm going to tell you to work your butt off and you'll get there.
Yep. Oh, wait, you mean you don't have the shortcut button?
Yeah, it's gray tweed.
Gray tweed.
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
Gray tweed on the dash.
Jeffrey, anything else from you, sir?
Maybe one quick question. Hopefully we can get to it.
Go ahead.
Quick, to Bobby here. So what would it take then to get you back into the lanes?
That's a great question.
Here's the deal. I love it, and I keep thinking I'm going to go and be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm president of our local school board. I'm involved with many things. We've got a local theater that I help manage, and I also have a business to try to run. I've got a 15-year-old that's a 3-sport athlete.
Wow.
And so, life changes.
Yeah.
And so when I was in my 20s and 30s competing, was a different time. My oldest was born in 97. And so, once he got into things was when I started getting out of DB drag. So that's a hard thing to say, to spend every waking hour in the shop trying to make a vehicle louder. That's going to be a tough one for me because I'm so involved in other things. But man, I would encourage anybody who has the itch to scratch it and go have fun
Exactly.
and absolutely, do it. Take a year and go to every show you can, spend the money, buy the gas, get the t-shirt, and blow some crap up. Anyway.
Yeah, I think we could probably get you on as like maybe like a mentor or like maybe a team captain.
I don't think people like that.
I think
Not a
they
very
will.
not a very good coach, and I'm a pretty firm manager, so I wouldn't make any friends that way. But like I told Wayne asked me to come in and try to help admin different things on the DB drag portion of Facebook, and I'm trying that, but man, there's just I can't manage my own Facebook page for my store. There's so much to do, and so life gets in the way of having fun. But my fun has changed. But
Yes.
Talk about having if you love car audio and you're in your 20s or 30s and you want to go compete, man, go do it. And just go do it. And if you don't do well, just have fun with it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Absolutely. All right. I do want to hit our final question real quick. What is your definition of a bass head, sir?
Well, a bass head.
Yeah.
My definition of a bass head is anybody who has the bass 20 dB louder than the highs. So if you don't necessarily know what they're singing, but you can feel it, I'd say you're a bass head.
There you go. Yeah, no, that's a different one than we've heard before. So that's good. We like to hear all the different ones. This is our 49th episode or something like that, and that was a unique one. So that's always good to hear unique ones.
I'm always unique. I'm good for unique.
All right, guys. Once again, I'd like to thank you for tuning in. We'll be back on next week with Wayne Harris, the owner, CEO of DB Drag Racing, talking about rules and other things that we've got going on. We're going to try and nail some stuff down prior to that. Hopefully, we can get some World Finals commitments from him at that point. Remember, this is going to be his 25th anniversary for DB Drag World Finals this year, 2022. So keep that in mind when we're talking to him and trying to decide on World Finals locations. Some rules clarifications, they may be happening very shortly. Other than that, remember you can catch us on all social medias. You got Facebook, you got audio, YouTube, you got the audio side on any of the audio platforms, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Podbean, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you want to listen to us. That will be available shortly after, or probably tomorrow, because I have to download and change some stuff with all the new. With the Windows 11 coming out, it totally screwed up everything I had automated. So now I got to figure a new way to automate everything again. But once again, thank you for tuning in. If you want to send the host some tips, you can see it right there on your screen. Venmo at SonicFX, Cash App, $SonicFX. I share those 100% with Jeffrey. 50-50, we split those things. Any money we do get. As Lucky used to say, no $100 is too small. We'll take anyone you can send our way. We do have time and money invested in these things, and we do appreciate you. Like I said, we do this as our thing. I have a show February 27th at Lunsford's Customs. It is up on the website right now. We're trying to put together all the Reno shows, the Jay's Alarm shows, and also the Mellows Auto Repair. Those events will come shortly. Also, for you guys that know Brian Nyman, he says, please give me a call. I'm bored to death. If you guys need his number, reach out to me, and I have it, and I can share it with you. So Brian Nyman's just sitting around the house. He really can't go out and do things at the moment, but he is getting much better, and he says, please, just call. Once again, hey, thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you guys next week on Monday night, 6 p.m. California time, the only time that matters.
Wrong.
No, that's absolutely right. Anyway, we will see you guys next week. Have a good night and go to a show.